Here's why a lot of people don't trust the media, especially the weather people. Here's the weather for Tucson for the next week. Saturday, thunderstorms. Sunday, thunderstorms. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all cloudy. Really? Let's go to the next one. Sunny Sunday, sunny Monday, sunny Tuesday, sunny Wednesday, sunny Thursday, sunny all week. Somebody's lying. And yet somehow we believe these people can predict the global warming weather 10, 20 years from now. Yeah, I keep believing that. We're at the door of our garage and test facility. Let's open it up and see what we're driving this week. Looks like we got ourselves a nice Toyota RAV, one of my favorites. It seems to be tricked out with a bunch of TRD stuff. So I'll check out the price sheet and see exactly what we have here. If you're into Toyota off-roading, the Tacoma TRD might be for you for a bit more money. We'll have a link for that video test coming up at the end of this video test. And as a bonus for you hardcore folks, the 2020 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon with the new diesel. You might as well watch that too. We'll have a link for that coming up at the end. So you're getting 3 videos for the price of 1. Here's what the styling looks like from the front and the rear. And the first thing I want to do is take a look at the TRD package, show you what you're getting for the extra money. We can start off with the TRD aluminum wheels and the off-road all-season tires. The tread isn't that aggressive, so it should still be pretty quiet on the street. It is better when you get on the stock RAV, if you're going out in the dirt anyway. Somewhere in there we get twin tube shocks and stiffer springs. There's a torque vectoring all-wheel drive system with a setting for mud, sand, and over here a setting for rocks and dirt. By the way, when you set this in the rock and dirt mode, get an indicator on the gauge cluster here. Same with the mud and sand. Down here a button for snow, and I think the one on the right is hill descent, if my memory serves me correct. You get the interior graphics, the TRD custom seats with the logo, and the cargo bay, a heavy-duty rubber mat, marked TRD off-road in case you forgot what you bought. Heavy-duty rubber floor mats with the TRD logo again, so your passengers will know you spent the extra money. I'm sure they'll be impressed. We do get a real spare tire, although not as big as the ones located on the outside. Better than nothing, though. I looked at the spec sheet. The suspension is no higher. The typical Toyota 8.6 inches, depending on tires. This bigger rubber might raise it up just a wee bit, but not enough to mention. Also, there are no skid plates underneath. Considering the design, I don't know where they would put them. We have this long plastic sheet designed to prevent airflow to increase fuel economy. The bottom line, the TRD package does increase the off-road ability of the RAV, but not enough to follow your buddies in their Jeep Wranglers and Range Rovers. Let's just say light-duty use. So how much does the TRD version cost? Well, the base price of a RAV runs around $28,000. If you want the TRD, it's going to cost you $35,000. But as always, they load up the ones they send me with more goodies. There's the TRD weather package. It gives you a heated steering wheel and heated seats and some other minor items for $1,000. Another $1,600 for the upgraded audio system as well as navigation. Some people just have to have the navigation because they can't use a paper map. And then there's a $1,900 package. It gives you an excellent camera system. Unfortunately, also gives you a bunch of electronic gadgets, so-called safety features, safety nannies that I prefer not to have. Maybe you do. But it adds $1,900 to the price either way. Then add more money for things like roof rack and little knickknacks. Here's the total tab. There you go. It's a big jump from 28 grand. That's why you pay if you want a RAV loaded with everything. All RAVs come with LED headlights. Let's take these out in the dark and see what they do. Look pretty complicated to me. And I'll bet they're very expensive to fix. It's dark enough. Let's take these out and see what happens. Look pretty bright up close. Here are the low beams put on a building 100 feet away. Very bright, not very much height. Being drowned out by the spotlight that mysteriously popped up yesterday. Let's put the high beams on. For a better example, now we'll go to a longer spot. Here we have the brights on a building 300 feet away with a chain link fence in between. Good height, good spread, good light. Go low beam. Out about 2/3 of the way. The low beams are bright, but they don't go out that far. Good for city driving, but on the back roads you'll need the brights, obviously. Here's what the rear view camera looks like in the dark. A little on the grainy side, but considering there's not much light out there, I'd say it's pretty good. And I see we have some other choices here. Let's see. Oh, okay, that. Okay, works for me. Under the hood, 203 horsepower hooked to an 8-speed automatic transmission. In this case, an all-wheel drive system as well. Fuel economy, 25 in the city, 32 on the highway, and 27 overall, they say. We'll find out soon enough. Unlike the phony YouTube testers who just read off the EPA sticker, we take these out and do the real-world fuel economy. And that's what we're going to do next, coming up. And by the way, we have the choice of Eco Mode, Normal Mode, or Sport. We're doing most of our testing in the Normal Mode. And by the way, we get a nice sized glove box, even more room if you take out that thick owner's book. We get very simple climate controls. And like most Toyota Lexus products, a gauge cluster that reflects a lot of glare. It makes it hard to see at certain times of the day. You know what confuses me? Their test facility is in Arizona where the sun shines almost every day of the year. You think they would notice this reflection, but apparently not. We'll have to go in the shade to look at this because I have some other things to show you before we go out and do some actual driving. Alright, here are the electronic nannies. LTA is lane assist, computer controlled steering. That's already turned off. It doesn't show an indicator here. PCS, pre-collision warning. Don't need that. BCM, blind spot monitor. I know how to look at traffic and look in mirrors. Don't need that. The RCTA with P, cross traffic alert. Don't need that. In fact, I went into the bank drive-through and had vehicles on both sides of me. This thing was going off crazy, setting off alarms. Don't want it. Then we have PKSB, parking, I forget what that is. I think it's automatic parking, it brakes on its own. Yeah, that's it. I know when to brake, don't need that. And here's the worst of the all, RSA, road sign alert. And the way that works, the computer reads a road sign. If it says 50 miles per hour, you're doing 60, it sets off a warning in the vehicle. Of course, if I'm doing 60 and 50, obviously I don't care what the speed limit is. I don't need that either. So everything has been turned off. The question is, when you turn the ignition off and back on, will they stay off? We're going to find out. Well, the PCS, that came back on. The RCTA, that came back on. And the other stuff stayed off. That's encouraging. There is one complaint I have, and that is when you turn off a lot of these safety gadgets, you get these orange warning lights on the gauge cluster, which just happen to be the same color as the check engine light. That's not good, because normally if I see an orange light on the gauge cluster, it tells me something's wrong. I look. Now if I see something orange, I'm not going to look, because I don't want to see this, and I won't see the check engine light. These need to be a different color, Toyota, and actually, it's not all Toyota's fault because every manufacturer that I've driven uses an orange light the same color as a check engine light, which I don't think is very smart. Why not purple or lavender? Oh well. I know I'm going to get some hate mail from people saying, why are you turning this stuff off? It makes the car safer. I can give you a whole bunch of reasons why it doesn't, but that would be a different video. If you like the stuff, hey, just leave it all on. It's there for you. And as a bonus, you won't have to look at any orange warning lights. Your choice. I made mine. On a more positive note, the Lexus engineers did a great job on this electric power steering many years ago, and it carried over to the Toyota line. Excellent power steering, good feel, good feedback. There will be no complaints. As we do in all my videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps around 20 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance on impact. Let's see what this TRD suspension does. Bump number 1. Oh, those tires, you hear them. Didn't really feel much. Number 2. Number 3. Hello, Toyota. Number 4. The bigger bump was actually smoother than the smaller bumps. Go figure. And most of the noise you're hearing is from these large tires and wheels. The shocks did a pretty good job of sucking it up. The RAV used to be offered with a V6 engine. Thing was a rocket, but because of the stupid government fuel economy regulations, Toyota had to give in and stick with this 4-cylinder. Still, it's got enough power and 0 to 60, considering the weight of the vehicle. I'd rather have the V6, but we can't, so. And the brakes are very good on this vehicle, by the way. So far, we'll be getting 25 miles to the gallon in mixed commuting. We're going to reset this and take a highway trip. Do a little off-roading. Like so. This RAV is a comfortable highway cruiser. Surprising, I thought the wind noise would be a lot higher than it is. Although the cheap microphone on my camera might elevate it a bit on your end. Trust me, it's quiet enough and the stability is excellent. So far we've been driving on level ground. The fuel economy gauge is a steady 28 miles to the gallon. For the next 100 miles we'll be climbing from 1,500 feet elevation to around 5,000 feet elevation. I suspect the fuel economy will be dropping, but we'll know soon enough. We made it past the 5,000 feet mark. We're going to pull over and see what the fuel economy reading is. Well, 26.3, down from 28 to 29 on level ground. That's not too bad. We will be taking a downhill return trip, so don't go away. And here we go with the orange warning lights again. Very distracting. We're going to take this RAV off pavement, and the suspension is doing a pretty good job absorbing all these washboard impacts. Very solid body structure too, no rattles, except for the metal chair I have on the back seat. That's the chair rattling, not the vehicle. No emails, please. Time to get into the rough stuff. I will be leaving it in two-wheel drive as much as possible. Ground clearance is not a problem. Finally, some cool air. It was 114 degrees today. A little bit cooler up here. I looked up the spec sheet to see how much cargo this vehicle can hold, and actually I forgot the numbers, but let's just say it holds a lot for its size. And I'm impressed with the off-road performance. Definitely pretty good for a crossover SUV. And certainly better than another SUV I tested a couple weeks ago, What a sorry dog that thing was. And no, I'm not going to mention the name because it'll just make too many people mad. Time to head back to town before it gets dark and the bears come out and have me for dinner. We're going to take a return trip going from 5,000 feet to 1,500 feet downhill. See what the fuel economy is then. So stand by. Well, good thing I'm going south because these people think they're going north. This is a 2.5 mile backup, folks. In fact, it might go on another 2 miles, but I might run out of camera film. What are you doing out of your cage? You're running it up as a steak dinner on my plate if you don't get out of here. And we got another one. Oh, you're ugly. I'm gonna name you Hillary. Okay, on the original trip from 1,500 feet elevation to 5,000 feet elevation, we got 26.3 mpg. On the return trip from 5,000 feet elevation to 1,500 feet, 30.7. Add it up, divide by 2, that gives us around 28.5, I believe, which would be your EPA estimate for driving on level ground. Oh, 30.6, pardon me. So what's my take on this RAV TRD? I really like the vehicle. Everybody that saw it was impressed. Everybody that rode in it was impressed. Well, until they saw the price tag, then they got some sticker shock. 40 grand up, that's getting into Lexus territory. By eliminating a lot of the add-ons, you could get closer to around the high 30,000s, and that'd be the way I'd have to go. Plus the year-end discount. Coming up is a link to other compact SUVs we've driven lately. Click and watch, gives you 3 videos instead of 1, all for free.